Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin.
Tonight, we dedicate to beer. Glorious, wonderful beer. It makes the ugly attractive. It makes the stupid tolerable because it's beer. It makes a dull situation tolerable and sometimes even enjoyable. And it can make your relative somebody you actually want to spend time with. Beer. It makes politics palpable and helps you get through an evening of current news. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all you who identify however the fuck you want, I give you beer.
Just to point out that other alcohol beverages are available at this time.
Not in my shop.
They're in the Shills foyer.
Yeah. Keep that shit in the bathroom where it belongs. No, but yeah. I had the idea, and I was trying to write it in my head as we were going, but every time I'd get to the third line, I'd forget the first one. So I gave up and thought, I'll just wing it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Got to write those down sometimes. So what do y'all think? What's going on in the world? No, actually, don't answer that unless it's stupid and entertaining.
There's a big debate going on at the minute on the internet. I don't know if you've heard about this.
Is it?
It's with whether 100 men could beat a gorilla.
In what?
Have you heard
a fight?
A fight, yeah.
Are they stupid drunken men who just jump in without a plan, or are they 100 skilled people that know what they're doing?
Well, even then, there's been debate on that because the debate has been raging all over the place, apparently. Yeah, it could just be like 100 random people. There could be wrestling championships, although let's face it, they fake it anyway. There could be, martial art experts or whatever, and yeah, dog whisperers, animal whisperers, and yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to. Let's put it in terms of the American military. You would have to have a regiment that were foreigners or transgender people that you could use as a sacrifice so that everybody else could jump in.
Yeah.
Are we still on?
You could be the 100th person and hope that the previous 99 have worn him down a little bit.
Yeah. I would be the 100th person, because if you get to like 80 on the ground and 18 still fighting, that's when I would, find a bathroom, right? I just got to hit the head first, guys. I'll be right there kind of action.
Taxi.
Yeah. Where do I get a fucking Uber in this jungle,
See, the thing is, I think it's the wrong debate because they should take a leap out of that. What's her name? That Betsy Blue, whatever her fucking name is. The my only fans, I will fuck 1,000 guys in an hour type of.
Oh.
Could 100 men fuck a gorilla?
Oh God. Now,
and he'd like it.
Are you talking about using a gorilla's rectum as a clown car? Is that like? Just not sure that's a healthy thing to try.
Well, let's face it, I don't think either of those options are healthy.
Maybe if you wore like a Ron Jeremy costume, you could get him interested in the project, right?
I mean, no one's actually talked to the gorilla about this. He's not been part of the conversation. This gorilla's just sitting there going, "What the fuck are people wanting to fuck me?"
Yeah. Like I got, yeah.
What have I done wrong?
Yeah, I got a case of beer and some good herb. Why don't you guys just sit down and party, man?
Now, if you want to talk about the fucking part, well, maybe I'm open to that. Just
what if he stands up and says, "Boys, I don't listen to the YMCA."
Oh dear.
So who here saw our new Prime Minister Mark Carney sit down with Ronald Gump in the Oval Office?
Hey, I thought you said no news.
Yeah, but no. This isn't news. There's a few photos of them, and Trump is this heavy-bellied, lumbering girth sitting in the chair, looking all tired, like, "Oh, can I just take this suit off and go and put my feet up?" And Carney's all nice and sitting proper, and Trump tries talking nonsense, and the funny thing is, this was mentioned on social media and stuff, and in a few things like from MSNBC and so on, but Trump thinks he's a financial genius, but Mark Carney actually is. He ran the Bank of England and the Bank of Canada, for God's sakes. He knows so much more about the financial system of the world than Trump ever could. It's not funny.
What's he doing with his fingers on the tip of the Bank of England? He's a fucking Canadian.
Hey, you guys hired him. You must have needed the fucking help, right? But it was funny. The posture, the way that Carney handled his BS and whatnot. Carney's a very, very well prepared individual for a political turn in his life. He's going to prove to be a good soul. I like him.
Thing is, you were talking about like Trump's posture in the chair.
The lack thereof.
Well, yeah. I mean, he seems to be like that in everything he does. We notice that. Everything, his interviews on TV or whatever, he's just like, like slumped in the chair.
Yeah, you watch him take a golf swing, and he leans over, and all that girth starts hanging down, and gravity gets a fucking hold of it, right? And his shoulders give it this, but the rest of him is like 2 seconds behind and slowly catches up. That's funny. So what else is happening? Dunk left, so I guess I'll have a chat with with everybody here.
I'm still here.
How is the political situation in the UK with Stamina there?
Haven't a clue.
No
idea.
It doesn't even hit your news right now because it's all about Ronnie Gump and the whole the train to fascism, right?
Yeah, there was a program on the telly last night, political thing and all about UK stuff. Didn't hear a single word of it. I was just in my mind was somewhere else.
Yeah.
It finished and go, oh, I learned nothing there then.
Yeah. My YouTube feed stuffed the whole Carney Trump thing down my throat so hard that I literally ignored it for 24 hours just because I didn't want to be.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Carney, he's had no political career.
None.
He's just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, somebody got the bright idea. Wait a minute. You know, this Carney guy in our party, he's actually really good at speaking when he gets the turn and whatnot. He's led the bank of this, the bank of that. So he's a financial person. What a great counter to the Democrat, Liberal and Conservative Party of Canada dichotomy of back and forth, that we have, the Liberals have a financial guy in the lead. Because in Canadian politics, very much I think like America and stuff, the Liberals are perceived as the ones who will get the country into more debt, helping the undeserving poor, or whatever stupid phrase you want to use in whatever generation. Whereas the Conservatives are more about the bottom line and making sure the numbers add up. So it was a great foil to have a banker lead the Liberal Party. It worked out really well. And I hope that he stands his ground financially, but also in the great tradition of Canadians being helpful to each other and everything.
Oh, well, as Canadians do.
Except for this shit going down in Alberta right now. Oh, my God.
What's that?
So Alberta is the Canadian province that has the oil sands. So that's where, there's quite a value there for Canada as a whole because of taxes and stuff and whatnot, right? Alberta is almost exclusively Republican style conservative, except for a few spots in cities that are hardcore liberal. Go figure, right? So the Canadian pension plan started back in the early 60s, and it's this cooperative effort between all the provinces, except Quebec, that we pool our resources as a pension plan for everyone. Everybody pays in, everybody gets paid out. Now, there is a clause in this pension plan agreement that if a province wants to leave it, they can. So the Albertans are very, very pissed that the country voted Liberal again when they're very conservative. They're not conservative in the way that MAGA is, although a few are, but that's for any group of people. There's always extremists, right? I'm not calling anybody out, but they are talking about the fact that they might want out of the Canada Pension Plan now and go solo. And the reasoning is there's so much money in Alberta. And okay, there is, right? And so they had some accounting firm do quick calculations, and they came up with if we walk away right now, we're owed $347 billion with a B dollars. And that would break the Canadian pension plan on the spot because we don't have that kind of money in the pension plan. So how did they get to this number? Well, they looked at every dollar that has been paid into Canada Pension by somebody working in Alberta since the dawn of the pension plan. They calculated the interest on all those dollars and said, that's what we want to pull out. Right? And if you think about it for even a moment, it's moronic because this is the reality of the situation. Alberta had a construction boom 20 years ago, whatever it was. And there was people from all over Canada going there, getting construction jobs. They'd work for a couple of years. They'd end up back home in the Maritimes, British Columbia, wherever they were from, Ontario, Manitoba, whatever, Saskatoon. I don't want to leave anybody out here. And they would go back to their home after a few years and eventually retire in their home province, not Alberta. So yes, that person worked in Alberta and paid into the pension plan while in Alberta, but they're not going to be taking their payout from Alberta. They're taking it from the rest of Canada. And this is how the numbers that they came up with are so fundamentally flawed. It's not funny. They're Trump-like numbers. And it's just more proof that this us versus them mentality of modern politics, the right versus the left, is permeating Canada more and more. So I plead with everybody in Canada, stop it. Stop falling for this clickbaity line of, if we were to leave Canada, they owe us $300 billion and we'll all be rich nonsense, because it's not true. Come on, right? You got to stop reacting to this crap. You've got to. We've got to be able to get along just a little bit better.
I bet people on the left are pissed off that they got the terminology given to them, the left, when the right got the right, because they can say, no, we're right.
Yeah. I've often thought that too. Liberals should be the right, because to me, it's the correct word.
It's not the right and the left, it's the right and the wrong.
Yeah. But Putin's cat, if they want to leave, fine, but the money was paid while they were in, so it belongs to the whole. That's 100% right, Putin's cat. And the other thing is if they were to leave, well, their oil from the oil sands has to go through Canadian provinces to get to Canadian ports. There's going to be extra fees and stuff. They have to worry about having their own money because they're not going to leech off Canadian dollar and whatnot. And I mean, seriously, people in Alberta, think this through, because it's not a good idea. You know, it's just not. You have no idea the hardship coming to you. Ask anybody from Jamaica how it went when they left the British pound sterling behind and went with their own money. Ask anyone from Jamaica how that went, and they'll tell you, oh, it was great. You know, instant third world country monetary system. You're being
on rum.
They're Alberta's being sold a poison package of lies by people who have a political ideology that they want to further. This is not in your best interest. Think it through. But you know, and I mean, I grew up in British Columbia until I was about 12 years old. Southern Ontario for high school. After that, I was back in British Columbia. I spent some time in Calgary, spent some time in Edmonton, spent some time in Regina, in Winnipeg, a few other places in the Maritimes as well. Like, I bounced around as a working musician, and I don't have I hate you because you're from this region attitude, man. We're all just Canadian people. Let's just calm ourselves down a tad and make sure we're thinking long term for our children and our grandchildren, not just for our own political, ideological anger.
Yeah, I mean, you don't hate anybody for their politics or their religion. You just hate people.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It doesn't matter what you believe or like. When I first meet you, you're another human being. You might try to touch me or something, and I'm just not going to like you until you prove likable. No.
Never mind a gorilla. This is 100 men versus one Dick Dawson.
Yeah. I hate those people, like when you're standing around a barbecue having a beer and you say something funny and the person's got to put their hand on your shoulder while they're talking. Get that fucking thing off of me, will you? Yeah, I just nothing. Just don't.
Could be worse.
I don't know. I really don't like being touched much. Yeah. And somebody might say, oh, but what about like romantic times? Yeah, it doesn't count then. Funny, that little affinity to being touched just seems to go away when you need it to.
Yeah, but once that's done, get your fucking hands off me, bitch.
I'm not going to confirm or deny anything. Give me a minute here because I need an alcoholic beverage and I will rejoin you as fast as I can.
He's up to buy the beer store again. Dun, 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 dun. He's just been done a beer run. Silly bugger. I'm not going to sing a song. I know there's requests in there for me to sing a song while he's gone, but I'm not.
I put you on speakers every time I get up. You know that. Actually, I didn't that time, so I'm going to have to watch them. See. Yeah. So, what else should we cover? Talk about, go into. I got invited to some YouTube research thing for creators, and as a result, we might get granted early access to new features that they might test and trial. So we'll see.
Wait, no, you got to be careful about that because we've been reporting on what scientists have been doing research on recently, and you're going to find yourself like a perspex maze and just shove cigarettes and alcohol at one end, and you got to go and press a button and to get the right result for either a beer or a cigarette. And
it'll be like that episode of WKRP in Cincinnati. They bring a cop in and they have the two DJs and they have a little response button thing where you lift your hand off one and go to the other when the person says go. And the stoner drunk DJ gets faster as he gets drunk and the cop starts getting all pissed off. It's really funny. It's one of my favorite episodes. We had a request here, Lynette Ray in the chat. So specifically for you.
You suck.
There go the peace talks again.
Yeah. Yeah. One more time, just in case somebody in the back seats wasn't paying attention.
You suck.
Should get one done with Putin who's sitting behind Trump and get smacked in the jaw as Trump's hit twice back.
We need one with Trump bent over and Putin behind him and Trump,
No, we don't need that at all.
His belly smacking himself in the jaw.
Come on, please.
For sure. RP Marson there. For sure, Zelensky has seen that meme. I just hope he's seen ours with the added sound effects.
You suck.
I love it. I love it. JD.
What?
Go on. I was just going to say, JD Vance sort of lightening his stance on the world stage lately, talking about stuff. I wonder if that's indicative of, a teaser so that Trump will, show the administration is changing its tune a little bit.
I get the feeling that the administration is changing its tune a little bit. It is kind of like slowing down, and then they'll just go and say something stupid again, and it's like, oh, okay.
What's his name that runs Project 2025? Probably told him, okay, we've pushed so hard and so fast. Let's back off and give the people a little bit back before we take more again.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, this whole Gulf of Arabia thing, that's that's back into like the Trump playbook. Just like throw shit out there, see what sticks. Yeah. And like you say about the Alcatraz thing, Trump apparently says, it wasn't a serious thought. I'm just spitballing here. Yeah. It's like, that's how you're running your entire government is by spitballing.
Yeah, but he wasn't spitballing. He said, I'm announcing right now this is happening. I'm ordering it to happen and stuff. And then later on, it's like, I was just, thinking out loud. Hey, do you tweet with a meth pipe in your mouth, you fucking moron?
Yeah. Don't think.
Exactly.
Until you've thought it through.
I bet the people that run Project 2025 wish that they could just put him in cryo freeze when they don't need him so that he doesn't pick up his phone and start tweeting, or what is it called when you put out a post on Truth Social? Is that defecating?
Yeah, shitting.
Yeah, that's a defecation, right?
I mean, you know what's next going to come? You know, it's going to go and go. I was looking at the, American education system. And I was thinking we don't have enough wizard schools, so we're going to start a school for wizards.
Yeah, exactly. Is how are we going to get our next Harry Potter if we don't teach them? You know.
What have you been watching? I want a park with dinosaurs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's just off the charts these days, man. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'm
And
surprised it's got Harrison Ford in charge of security on Air Force One.
yeah. And yeah, he's already saved it once, It's like that whole thing with Alcatraz. He really did talk about the ending of the movie with Clint Eastwood as if it was the real facts in the case. He really did. It's too funny, man. I got to give credit to Stephen Colbert for that one because it was his people that figured it out, at least as far as I've caught on to, But if you go back to our 42 show that we recorded, I mentioned Clint Eastwood in it, so I'm going to take credit.
Yes.
Right. Somebody on Colbert's show watches us for cues on what's actually funny.
Well, listen to me.
Yeah, they put up with me, but they listen to him. God, in your dreams. This was so funny tonight, though, to open with this picture and get to talk about a second military aircraft falling off of an aircraft carrier, and it just happened to be the same aircraft carrier. How can that be real? How can that be real? Oh my God. Ugh. Maybe Pete Hegseth is like, drop another plane because I might get caught over signal chats again.
Yeah, distraction.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, those planes are recoverable. I can't imagine what they're like when you drag them off the seafloor, though.
Have you ever seen a YouTuber try to rebuild a salt-flooded automobile?
Well, you just put it in a big bag of rice, don't you?
Yeah. Just rub it down with vinegar, neutralize the rust. But every single piece of electronic is corroded and ruined unless it's waterproof, like actual waterproof, not resistant, not IP, yada, yada, but no water at all.
Yeah, well, I guess the airframe itself is worth a lot of money, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so. Because, I mean, they retrofit these planes over years and years with new electronics and everything. So, yeah, there must be an angle to that, right?
Or you just put it on eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah, spares or repair.
Can you? So you want to talk about military jets and stuff? Funny things going on right now.
Please. Yes, please.
Such a fucking Brit, You're such a Brit. I could just see you doing that whole British school kid. Oh, in class doing that, Yeah. Or standing in the food line. Can I just have one more biscuit, sir?
Get on with it then. Come on.
Yeah. So Canada is now talking to South Korea about acquisition of military assets, submarines, fighter jets, a bunch of stuff. And South Korea, the manufacturing and whatnot of said items is far faster. And I'm not a fan of Hyundai cars, so I'm not going to go into quality and stuff because I don't want to taint the entire country over one automobile manufacturer that sold the Pony and the Excel. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
But there's high international score of their equipment. They're able to supply it far faster. And they are now the fourth biggest world supplier of this kind of stuff. So it's very interesting because yet again, Trump's bullshit and rhetoric is forcing countries to reevaluate situations that make American companies serious amounts of money. Right?
Yeah.
Americans that work for Lockheed Martin and stuff that make fighter jets and whatnot, even like the janitor dude, he's all in security and clearance and whatnot. He's probably getting paid $40 an hour, man. You know what I mean? Like these are well-paid jobs, and they're, Canada is just like, we're gonna shop around.
Yeah, I mean that's the interesting thing. In France, they build their own equipment. They don't get anything from America. They build their own aircraft and tanks and whatever. So they're not rely on any kind of American equipment because they know the simple fact of it is even if it's just come down to spare parts, if America don't play ball, you're fucked.
Yeah, right, yeah. Right.
So the UK is like swapping over as well.
Yeah. And I give you this. South Korea gave us Psy, the Gangnam Style guy and whatnot. A seriously amazing entertainer. America gave us
Elvis?
No, the song Disco Duck.
And what have you got against Disco Duck?
Nothing, because I would never put anything against it except for a chunk of lead flying at a high velocity. Disco Duck is the reason that people were burning records and doing disco sucks and so on. That DJ guy that did that song.
I honestly don't know it.
It's the worst track ever released on the human psyche.
Can you play it without getting a copyright strike?
I couldn't without burning into flames, as if I was walking into a Catholic church.
Well, you can't do that again.
Yeah, exactly. It took years for my hair to grow back. Yeah, Rick D's. That's it. Thank you, KKs. Yeah, that's it. I couldn't remember the cat's name, but I hate that song.
Something else I've got to look up after the show then.
Yeah. Here, hold on. Who cares about copyright? We never do. Let me bring it up here. I'm not going to play much of it because I have a soul to think of. All right.
You don't have a soul.
Rick D's Disco Duck live midnight special. Okay, here we go. Let me unmute that. Bring this up.
Thank you. It's great to be here on the Midnight Special. We are Rick D's and the Cat Ditties. We come all the way in from a planet far from this galaxy called Memphis, Tennessee. I tell you, it took us 43 days to get here to the Midnight Special. Didn't think we was ever going to make it. We was coming down that long ribbon of highway. And ever...
Sorry, I didn't know it would be this fucking stupid.
I hate him already.
Yeah.
With my feet to the disco beat. How in the world can I keep my seat? All of a sudden I began to change. I was on the dance floor acting strange.
You get the idea now?
Get the chorus.
Oh, God. You are a hate-filled man. Okay, hold on.
Look at me, I'm with this.
Maybe this is it. Okay, there is a chorus in this song. It just doesn't seem to happen here. Maybe it's here. There it is. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm just not.
Disco duck, don't be afraid. Disco duck.
Yeah, so you get the idea, right? This is why people destroyed records. It was really worth the moment in history.
Yeah. Wow, you haven't seen the one with Orville the duck that we had over here. I wish I could fly right up to the sky, but I can't. You can.
Was that this guy? Was that this one here?
He was green. It was a green duck puppet in a nappy.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, when you say nappy, you mean diaper, right?
Yeah. Oh, was it Keith Harrison Orville? That's it.
Wow.
Terrible. And they had their own fucking show and everything.
Wow. Well, Benny Hill comes from your town, so you know.
Yeah, but Benny Hill was in the entertainment industry for years and years and years before he got to his TV shows. And I know they got a little bit off the wall and they got cancelled and everything. But Rolf Harris and Orville were like on like a variety shows like Seaside Special and shit like that. And they go and then end up having their own show on Saturday night. It's like,
wow,
Jesus Christ. British entertainment at its best.
Yeah.
A man with his hand shoved up a duck puppet.
Yeah, oh my God. Okay. We need a cleanser for that. So hold on. Wow, I'm looking through my downloads and all I see is porn, but I know there's something else in here. Okay, hold on. I'm just kidding. Nobody believes the just kidding part, right? Oh, I forgot where I saved this. Hold on. Okay, I found it. Oh, stupid setup thing, right? Okay. I really got to change that, the way I do that. Okay. All right. Hold on, everybody. I know this is about as anticlimactic as a fucking thing can be, but I almost got it here. Yeah, hold on. Tell them a story, Dunk, or something.
Oh, I thought you just like click a button and it would just be done, but no, I don't know.
If only.
Waffle on for hours where you just get things.
Okay, here we go. I got it. All right. Why am I using that? Fuck off, will you? Okay. Oops, wrong button. Okay, here we go. I got something that'll clean your palate from that. Here we go.
JD walked into the furniture store, saw her sitting there, couldn't ask for more. Velvet cushions, curves divine. He whispered, "Oh dear couch, you shall be mine." He maxed out his card, didn't even think twice. For true love, you don't check the price. JD and the couch of destiny. Soft embrace, it sets his spirit free. Forget romance, forget the town. He just wants to sit his whole life down. Took her home, set her up just right. Dimmed the lights, made it a perfect night. Netflix on, but he didn't care. He just ran his fingers through her fabric hair. His friend said, "Dude, you're losing your mind." Oh, but JD said this love's one of a kind. JD and the couch of destiny. Reclining back in harmony. He don't need no fancy fling, just a footrest and eternal spring. Some say love is fleeting, but this is high density foam, baby.
That guitar solo is so Richie Sambora.
But the spark remained, even when the cushions were slightly stained. Through thick and thin, through crumbs and spills, JD loved that couch and he always will. JD and the couch of destiny. Bound together in upholstery. No breakups, no goodbye, just a man
Such a great track.
Yeah.
It's got so many good hooks in it as well. It's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah. Well done, Carpathia. And that's the AI alchemist that whipped that up. Audio, visual, the whole 9 yards. This is proof, people. If you don't get how it works, you can go to ChatGPT and make bullshit, or you can really learn how it's done and do it well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Why has it not got viral?
Yeah, it should. But I'm a hardcore musician. I started playing way back when there was no such thing as digital recording. Hell, when I went to audio engineering school, half the school was still analog, for fuck's sakes, right? I don't
still using lutes.
What?
You had to learn to play the lute.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, I started as a minstrel, I mean, and brave Sir Robin. And I'm sensitive to AI garbage music, and that is AI music, but it's not garbage. It was actually decent. I mean, go back and listen to the guitar solo. I'm not going to get into this big time, but it's got a real Richie Sambora from Bon Jovi feel going on, kind of thing. It does callbacks to the melody. It's that's not just a one hit into the system, come up with garbage. It's well done. It's awesome.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people doing that sort of stuff, and quite often I'll see
terrible.
Yeah, I'll click on the song, and about halfway through, you go, "Oh, I'm done. Yeah. But not that one. It carries all the way through to the end really well.
Yeah, totally, man. Absolutely love it. That's fun.
There's a guy I'm sub to. Some people out there might know of him, called Randy Rainbow, who is got to be the gayest person on YouTube. and he's
come on.
Oh no, he's well gay, and but he keeps coming out with these parody songs, political.
Oh, cool.
And they are so good. They are really, really good. And, they're all kind of like, well, I mean, he should be writing a fucking Broadway musical parody on the politics, because it would be perfect. It's right up there. It just sounds like a Broadway hit every single time. And they're so funny.
Yeah.
And he sings it all. And he's great. Yeah. Good old Randy Rainbow.
Cool. I got to check him out for sure.
Yeah. Well, when you say check him out, I mean,
oh, well, hey,
it's
I mean, come on, in this day and age, hot is hot. When in Rome, right? What are you going to do?
I suppose he's a good looking dude, getting on a bit.
I could have gone into such wrong territory there for a second.
Oh, you could have gone right back door.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let me get over that instinct to make things just so wrong. And I've got such a revolting, nasty sense of humor at times. You guys have no idea how much I have to hold back. You you remember when Andrew Dice Clay first came out and people were like, wow, that guy's raunchy. I thought he was pretty tame. But I'd get canceled in a heartbeat. And it's not like I mean that I'm being a jerk to people or anything. It's just being funny, but you can't do that anymore, Yeah,
well, Andrew Dice Clay was like a fucking generation ago. Come on.
Yeah, a while. But even
moved on since then.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you're not being a jerk and you're just being funny, I think the world's got to relax a bit more. There's nothing wrong with humor,
Yes. If the world relaxed, there'd be a lot more anal sex.
And they'd mean it. No, but if I was out at a bar with a friends or a pub, whatever you want to call it, and we had
a wine bar.
Yeah, I don't really do that. But and I got somebody from the Middle East with me, and somebody from India wearing a turban, and we got like a Portuguese guy because we got orchards around us and they have a history around here, and we could have some ginger white guy from Alberta or whatever here, and we go to the pub. If anybody picks on any one of them for any damn reason other than they were actually being an asshole, holy fuck, are they going to hear it? You know, I won't have hate in any way. No way. But I see nothing wrong with humor.
Yeah, I wouldn't take him to a bath though, because you are picking on quite a few, people who are like teetotal, and it's against their religion to drink.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
and be a company of people who drink. So
yeah.
You take him to a bar, there might be a few hands being chopped.
They could beat the shit out of each other, but God forbid somebody outside our group tries.
Send the gorilla in.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just I wish that people could relax a bit and go back to humor. And I mean, it's easy to tell when somebody's just being funny versus somebody being an asshole. Why don't we recognize that again?
See, yeah, that's the interesting thing. A lot of people think just being an asshole is funny, and it's
not. No. When somebody
funny and be an asshole at the same time, that's a different kind of comedy.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree there, right? But you shouldn't have to be an asshole to be funny.
No.
Right? Okay, let me get a drink. Hold on. Actually, I'm going to see a man about a horse too, so.
Yeah. There's a song about that. Dick Dawson rides into town and he goes to see the horse. He says, bring me your prettiest of your horse. And as the horse line up, Dick Dawson takes a look and wonders which one of them he'd like to have a fuck. Thank you. I'm here all week. Try the beef. Oh, Jesus. Don't stop me now. Oh, he's buggered off for a long time now. Hey, remember the other week I was talking about, bungee jumping into space. I had a new idea the other day. This might catch on. It's called shark bungee. Now, you might be thinking what you do is you bungee jump off a bridge and down in the waters below. There's a shark lurking in the water, and the whole thing is the bungee just like you go down, and the shark's trying to bite you, and he just like snaps you away in the last second. No, I'm going to do it the other way around. What I'm going to do is going to put the shark on the bungee, and you stand down in the river, and the shark comes down on the bungee. And it's trying to bite you, and the cable is pulling tight, and the shark gets pulled away at the last second.
I didn't see this episode of Fantasy Island. Who was on it?
Yeah, it's my new plan, my new little scheme. Bungee. Yeah. Anyway, I thought I'd just fill the gap.
Yeah. You know what I think we'll do? For the rest of the month of May, we're going to call it Monty Python May. And every intro we do for the show for the rest of the month will be a Monty Python gag.
Oh.
Yeah. Because you know how the retro nerds have like SEP Tandy and they do Tandy computers and things like that. We're going to have Monty Python May.
Well, no, we'll do.
I don't know who May is, but
we'll do Monty Python restoration jobs. This joke is from the 1970s. It needs a little bit of retro brighting, maybe here and there. We're going to restore it into its original condition. I found this gag covered in mud, and when I cleaned it up, I found out it was a Monty Python sketch.
PJ CNET in the chat says, "Hey Dick, where's your new horse then?" Oh, I left him at the watering hole. Yeah. Pretty sure I'm going to have to remodel my bathroom soon, but that'll be another matter.
That's not what I sang about, but you didn't hear that.
Oh God. I'm going to have to watch this one back. Somebody donate because I need a 6-pack for the morning so I can watch this fucking shit.
Timestamp.
I need to play the Trump zinger. Which one? This one? There's this one.
I think that's not a very smart question.
There's this one.
Because I have common sense.
There's this one. This one.
You suck.
You gotta be more specific, dude.
There's a new one we got to grab. When he was doing that interview the other day on was it Meet the Press or whatever?
Yeah, with that chick. Yeah, she was hounding him, man, and he was like, "Come on,"
and he was just going, "I don't know."
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. We should turn that into a beat. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You know, something like that, right?
I don't know.
The average age of a soldier in the Vietnam War was I don't know.
Baby shark, do. I don't know, do. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm wearing the right shirt. Mexi girl even sent it to me. See, hold on. How do I do this right?
Heg says drunk, do.
JD's couch, do. JD's couch, spooge. Okay. All right. Sorry. Oh God. Baby shark, man. There's parents all over just cringing right now. How dare you? It's asleep.
Do you know what was really funny about that baby shark thing? I heard so much about it, right? And I hadn't heard it. I think just through purposefully or willful ignorance, I'm not going to go and find out what this baby shark thing.
Oh, don't! It's the stupidest little baby cartoon. Yeah.
Well, I know it now though because it was years ago, so I now know what it was. The first time I heard it was with some like flat Earth family were singing "Earth is flat." Yeah. That was the first time I heard it, but the first time I actually heard the actual lyrics was when I was in a Tesco superstore, and there was a little kid sitting in a trolley. Just singing away, and he was just like doing all the actions and go. Oh, so that's Baby Shark. Thank you. No performance from his biggest fan, the toddler.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I found out about it because this girl that was my neighbor for a little time. That's a story unto itself. I was over there and the baby woke up and she was all flustered trying to take care of the other kid. I was like, relax, I got the baby. She was like, oh, you know what to do and stuff. I was like, mine's 16 or whatever. You know, I've done this before. It's okay, right? So I picked the kid up and I got her and I'm flying her around the room to keep her all happy and stuff because she doesn't know who I am. Like, where's this fucking Sasquatch looking motherfucker, right? You know, and then the TV changes and Baby Shark comes on and she's so into the intro and I'm listening to it going, oh dear God, this is just worm food for the brain in the worst way, right? And then the song stops and the cartoon starts playing and the kid is furious because she wants the song again, right?
Yeah.
So I start going, Mommy Shark, do, and I start singing it to keep the kid happy. And
you've learned the lyrics and everything.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm a musician. I'm a professional, right? You know. Right? So
They've all got tabs for this song, so I can.
yeah. And then from that moment on, every time this little kid would see me, and she was like, I don't know, a year, like 9 months or whatever, she would flip out for me to pick her up, and I'd pick her up, and then she'd just start bouncing, like, come on, sing it for me, and I sang that fucking song so many times, man.
It's funny. I mean, he became a big hit. I mean, it's great. I mean, the funny thing is, I mean, I remember my kids sit in the back of the car. We'd be traveling somewhere or whatever, and they'll all be like singing these songs again that they're just like picked up off the internet, and they're just like they're young kids. I mean, I don't know what kind of websites they were looking at. This was like back in the days when they were on Club Penguin and and stuff like that. Yeah. But they were singing something, narwhals, swimming in the ocean, causing a commotion. So what the fuck does this come from? Yeah. I haven't heard it in the charts. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, this has got to be you too. It sounds like the Bono activism, right?
But there was all these different songs they used to sing that just again from being hits on the internet. Amazing.
Too funny. Fucking if anybody didn't catch it, I'm a professional. I stole that from Geddy Lee on the Bob McDoug McKenzie record, right? You gotta dig deep,
That's what she said.
My God, the beers are going down quick tonight.
Uh-oh.
We've been live for 56 minutes. I grabbed the beer between shows. So literally, I've only been drinking for like 3 minutes before we went live. And I'm already halfway through my third.
Oh, you dirty bitch.
Yeah, but I'm smart because I bought 12. So
I'm not here for 12.
Well, no, not you, but I'll go and bug my neighbors after, right?
Oh God, that's that drunk Canadian blood again.
Yeah. No. The neighbors, my neighbor, and I mean, I'll get the odd slur out now and then when I'm ranting when we're live and I'm drinking or whatever. But for the most part, I can conduct myself as somebody who's had 3 beer when I have 10. And the neighbors always comment, but it's really funny because if I've had like 11 beer and I go, okay, I'm done, I got to get out of here. And I stumble home. Well, I don't stumble, and then I'll sit down and I'll have that last 12th beer in my living room watching some YouTube video. And then I go upstairs and get ready for bed. And I'm like, you know what? I can really feel that.
My legs won't go up the stairs.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Why do I have a black eye and a fat lip when I was going up the stairs? Right.
The rest of my body's going up the stairs, but the legs seem to be down there somewhere.
Yeah. I'm like Trump's belly. I got left behind in this project.
Yeah.
But I hold it together pretty good, and I know when to bail. I know when to not be that guy. You don't want to be that person that goes, I don't understand. My mother was a bitch.
Definitely not when you're in court.
Yeah, that's probably good. Yeah. So now realizing that I'm drinking too fast, I went on about how I can fucking deal with it. I've either got to shut the show short or calm myself down and get on with the project, hadn't I?
I think maybe a bit of both.
Could be.
You just got yourself all excitable. Yeah. And you just plug in.
Well, speaking of stumble up the stairs, Carpathian says, yeah, I've done that in the chat. I've done it a few times lately because I'm adjusting to this wearing glasses thing. And if I look real down, like you would do in your peripheral to walk up the stairs, it's a different magnification and stuff than my glasses. And there's a trick to it. You've got to just simply walk. Don't look down. It's really weird.
Well, does it make it look closer or further away? So you're looking up the stairs, going, "That's fucking miles." I know.
I only notice when I'm liquored up, so I'm not really sure. You know? But that was the whole thing, especially when I had progressives at first. I couldn't handle that. That was stupid. So now I have like 3 different pair of glasses. I have dailies for distance. I have these ones for when I'm talking to you all. And then I have some holy fuck Coke bottle thick readers for when I need a real close up. Oh, yeah. You know, I'm like, I'm almost that guy in Spaceballs when he doesn't hit the target and he lifts his helmet and he's all cross-eyed and shit. You know, I'm almost that guy now. Yeah. Yeah. Work says, oh, they're not progressives. No, these were progressives originally. What?
They're interlaced.
Yeah. These
that's a video compression joke for you there.
Well, analog video transmission joke. But these ones were never supposed to be progressives because they're for podcasting. And I've got like 2 screens this way and screens lower. And I needed to not have to do like if I need to read the screen that's below in the center, I would have to do this with the progressives. And what happened is every time I needed to interact with the team in the background on Discord and stuff, you would just be looking at my fucking forehead and my hairline. Right? I had to have non-progressives. That's what I told them, though. I was like, it's this wall of monitor. Don't give me that damn transition thing. And they did.
Yeah. I want less woke glasses, not so progressive.
Exactly.
None of this trans stuff.
Yeah.
Just
yeah. But then the daily screwed me up too, so I had to get non-progressive, and I'd rather just change my glasses when I need to, you know. Anyway, well,
what about if you just turn them upside down?
Oh, they just slide off your nose.
Well, you better move your nose then.
I'd have to turn my head upside down.
There you go.
Yeah, but then the little pads would have to be like octopus arms, right?
Roll your eyes to the backwards and use mirrors.
Yeah, PJ, get some Elton John glasses. Yeah, can you imagine big stars? You know?
Yeah. Yes, actually, I can.
No, I'm not that guy. You know, I didn't do the Crocodile Rock. I'm just not that cool.
You're just a candle in the wind.
Yeah. There's
more wind than candle, but yeah, carry on.
Yeah, well, there's a funny Elton John lyric. So, you know the song Rocket Man? You know, yeah. She packed my bags last night, pre-flight, you know, blah, blah. So he goes into the second verse and he says, I miss the earth so much, I miss my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that, you know, like I'd love to smell the green pine smell of a tree? And yeah, you know, because I'm missing home so much, I kind of miss my wife too. Or was there like a stop and a break? You know, I miss the earth so much, I also miss my wife. Or was it I miss the earth so much, I even miss my wife? You see what I mean? There's a lyrical strangeness in there, right?
Yeah,
and
he was just fucking making it up as he goes along. Come on.
Well, also knowing how his life played out was that a slag? Like, you know, if I was married to a man, I'd miss him a lot more. Like, you know.
Well, I mean, he was still playing the straight guy that time, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was totally right. Yeah,
as most of them did.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Come out. Oh, by the way, I'm gay. Oh, never have guessed.
Yeah. Really? So the whole fascination with Liberace had nothing to do with it, right?
What do you mean? Liberace's gay?
Yeah. I think he coined the phrase.
It is kind of funny that back in the day, there's so much entertainment was on telly, with all these like rampant homosexuals,
Yeah.
and the world kind of like, well, they not didn't know, they just kind of like ignored the fact. I mean, we
Yeah.
had incredibly gay performers on TV, and they go,
Oh yeah.
It's just a little bit queer, That's all. That's
Yeah.
all.
You remember that? You remember that one cat on Are You Being Served? He was the first real hardcore gay man I was introduced to as a child, right?
Yeah. Oh dear, that's not good.
Yeah, but it's true,
Oh,
right?
Mr. Humphrey, are you free? Oh, I'm free.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Under the counter.
Yeah.
Cravats.
I remember as a kid, I'm not even sure I knew what gay was, but I knew that boy liked boys. It totally sold to me.
But that was the thing. I mean, Are You Being Served was funny because, like you say, they really did not, go into it. But he was obviously gay.
Oh yeah.
But then you had Mrs. Slocum, and they're always going on about her pussy all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, wet. Oh.
I know. I remember as a kid, I got that 100%, man. I laughed my head off. My parents would be laughing. They knew I got the joke. They didn't care. I was 7 years old, 8 years old, or whatever,
It's so pathetic, though. If you actually think about it, you go, that's comedy writing. Yeah, well, here we go. Mrs. Slocum comes in and does a pussy gag. There we go. That's our night solved.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta say, when I was a kid, I loved Are You Being Served because everybody was so colorful and hilarious and stuff. It was like Hee Haw, the American show, where it was just chaos comedy, or what's her name? The Carol Burnett show, right? It was just chaos. I loved it.
Yeah, some of it was very, very stupid, though. I mean, the funny thing was you had young Mr. Grace, who was like in charge of the whole store. Yeah. He's like this 90-year-old man with a secretary.
Yeah.
That's like real Benny Hill kind of.
Oh, yeah. And then you could switch to the British comedy On the Buses, the TV show, not the movie.
Yeah.
And oh my God, that taught the world about British dental care.
Or lack of. Well, the funny thing is, everyone always talked about, how the British are very kind of like reserved, talking about sex and stuff like that.
They're just not.
If you look at the comedy of
all that, I know.
Every single fucking one of them was about sex. Yeah.
There was
Whoops, Vicar, where's me trousers? And
there was way more sex on display from the stuff we got from our big stupid satellite dish when I was a kid than anything on North American television at the time. Way more.
Yeah. And now it's the other way around. A lot of American comedy
are far more. Yeah.
It's just like, if they're not talking about sex, there's nothing to talk about. It's like we got no fucking story.
What do people in the Bible Belt of America watch? Because there's so much hidden and innuendo smut and stuff in modern television all the way through,
Yeah, they watch some televangelist.
They just watch reruns of fucking brim mortar, brimstone, and
dear. What's those Goody Two shows from the 50s? Leave It to Beaver and shit like that.
Yeah, I remember my father, when I was a kid, liked the TV show My Three Sons, and that was the first time you saw a father raising the kids without a mother involved. And looking back on it, was he just wishful? I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But we got a submission in here from Carpasian AI Alchemist. I have no idea what this is going to be. So you get to watch it here first with us.
Why don't the Shills and Dick Dawson love me? I'm the greatest president ever.
Oh, Donald, nobody likes you. Not Dick Dawson, not Dunker, or any of the Shills audience.
Now, Donald, I hate to say this, but Joe is right. Nobody likes you, especially not the Shills.
Nice. Yeah. That's gonna be our front card.
Okay. Give me a 1 in the chat if you want to see that again, because it was just too fucking funny. And there's no other option. Just give me a 1 in the chat if you want to see that again. You know how it works around here, right? We're a democracy.
Yeah.
The people have spoken.
Why don't the Shills and Dick Dawson love me? I'm the greatest president ever.
Oh, Donald, nobody likes you. Not Dick Dawson, not Dunker, or any of the Shills audience.
Now, Donald, I hate to say this, but Joe is right. Nobody likes you, especially not the Shills.
And those are two fantastically talented presidents speaking. So I'm going to have to defer to them.
Nice.
Oh, that's so funny. Doesn't that make you want to just get out of your chair and go get another beer?
Not me, because I don't have to, because I'm not like you. I don't drink like a fish.
You think you're Steve Perry from Journey tonight, don't you?
I'm loving it. I'm going.
He was only Yoda.
She was only 16 years old. Sorry, that was my really bad Michael Caine. It wasn't in the didn't get into the Michael Caine.
I thought you were doing the Kiss song, Christine 16. Man, there were some awful songs about young girls in rock and roll over the years. Holy fuck, man.
Yes.
You know, in that Kiss song, Gene Simmons says, I don't normally say things like this to girls your age, but when I saw you coming out of school that day, I knew I had to have you. It is disgusting. Holy fuck, man.
Especially when you sing it and you're 78 years old.
Yeah. Can you imagine, man? Oh, my God. Yeah, it's a shame, too, because as Work says, it's an awesome tune. Like, there's a lot of old Kiss tunes I really like the music from and stuff. The lyrics get a little bit cheesy now and then and whatnot, but there's this great duality between Paul Stanley and Ace Frehley on guitar, kind of the way that bands like Rat did in the 80s and stuff, where or Guns N' Roses, where the two guitar players don't just mirror each other. They play different things that come together to make the riff. The Canadian band, the Tragically Hip, are fantastic, or were at it, you know, absolutely. I do that with everything I record. Always.
Trying to remember a song that was a big hit back in the 70s. I'm trying to remember.
8675309.
It was a song about a girl, and you know he's talking about how much he loves her and all this kind of stuff. I can't remember the girl's name.
Lola,
which is
Lola, Lola. No.
It's kind of infuriating because the girl's name is the title of the song. And who was it that sang it? I think it was the curly-haired guy. Not that really helps. But
Top?
but you know, it's just like you know, ends up the song, and you know, and I really, really love you. Just a shame you're like 6.
Oh my God.
Oh, Project Utree's on the way coming around knocking on your door. What are you doing, 6-year-old, you dirty man?
Did Woody Allen write this?
I can't remember. I can see him. I just can't think of his name.
Wow.
I can see him in prison.
Yeah. Work in the chat talking about Love Gun. That is such an awesome tune with the way the guitars layer up and stuff. Oh, yeah. I would have rewrote the lyrics a little bit, but holy fuck, is that a good tune, man? I totally agree. I go back and listen to it quite a lot.
Not as good as Lick My Love Pump in the key of D.
Well, it depends if it's on vinyl or live in Memorex.
Hey, they got a new movie coming out, Spinal Tap.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, they're
if the Stones can do it, we can too.
Pretty much so. Yeah, they got I think they're doing a re-release at the minute of their Spinal Tap, which is in theaters, and they are going to be following up with a new film. Maybe I'm mistaken, but
wow,
we're looking forward to that. That'd be great.
They dragged what's his name out of the burger joint to produce it and all. Meathead, what's his name? Reiner.
Oh, yeah. What are you talking about, burger joint? What are you talking about, burger joint, Paul?
There's an episode of South Park when he's on and he can't stop eating burgers long enough to say a sentence. He's just stuffing his face.
That's mean.
It is totally. And they went at what's her name too, his wife in the All in the Family show with a real bad one. She was basically Jabba the Hutt. It was really bad.
They are actually extraordinarily mean on people sometimes.
Oh God, yes. Yeah. It's funny too that the odd people they really like though, right? Like in the first season, they had the band Korn on to do a Scooby-Doo parody episode. It was really strange,
Yeah, I mean, it's not like what's his name, Weird Al Yankovic, when he's doing like a parody song.
Yeah,
and he talks to the person who does the original song. Yeah, I want to do a parody of your song. Yeah. Okay, take a permission. Now, South Park just like rip into you and say,
"Oh yeah."
Ring up the next day and say, that parody you did of you. Oh, it's good. It's because we love you. It's because we love. We said all that shitty stuff about you, but it's because we love you.
Yeah, but Trey Parker and Matt Stone are probably the two of them are 25% responsible for the downfall of Kanye West when they ripped on him for being a motherfucking gay fish in that episode. After that, he went from a little bit strange in public to holy fuck, lost his mind. Most people have said I was called out by South Park and they did an episode on me, and it's because I was getting way out of hand and, they called me out and straightened me out. But Kanye, oh my God, he lost his shit when they fucking turned their attention on him. It was awesome. Oh my God, I've watched that episode so many times.
You've worn the tape out.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. It's so good. But they have attacked weird people and praised people weird. There was an episode where they did a total take on the Japanese monster Godzilla stuff from the 60s and whatever, And Leonard Maltin was one of the heroes.
Who?
Yeah, he's a dude that was on like the Entertainment Tonight version of 60 Minutes or something from back in the day. And Sidney Poitier, the black actor, I think he was the first to win a Grammy, or not a Grammy, an Oscar.
Yeah.
He showed up to be one of the heroes. And then the hero that actually finished the job off was, I think his name is Mark Smith from The Cure, Jason Smith or whatever,
Smithy from The Cure, the old drag through the hedge backwards guy.
Yeah, exactly, right? You know, it was hilarious. And the beast that they were fighting was Barbara Streisand. She turned into Mecha Streisand and tried to take over the world because she's sick of everybody making fun of her nose.
Trying to think of the name of the guy from The Cure. What his name was?
Robert Smith. That's it.
Robert Smith. That's it.
Yeah, Michael's in the chat. Got it. Good call, buddy.
He's still doing the same look that he had in the 80s.
Well, same with Slash. He still wears that fucking hat and the leather pants. I mean, can you imagine the smell in those pants at this point? Oh my God.
The thing about Robert Smith, right? You know, he had had red lipstick on, the eyeliner, and the messy hair, and it looks like he's basically not touched it since the 1980s. And slept in it.
Yeah.
And he's all wrinkly and old and everything. It just looks worse than ever.
He probably had them make a wig out of it, and he just shaves his head now to make it easier, right? You know,
goes around a carpet ride to get a refit.
Yeah, they had to go and watch some boring MTV music video to figure out how to remake his hair as a wig. You know,
reconstruct him. Well, we found this Robert Smith in the mud, and we're going to restore him back to his original beauty.
Yeah. I remember when I was young, because I mean I was born in 1970, so I'm of the what?
Robert Smith, will it start video?
Yeah. Could you light him on fire with a spark with the hairspray catch? You know, all you need is a flintstone and a piece of metal. But
a shotgun cartridge up the arse.
But I'm of the right age to be a fan of The Cure, right? I was born in 1970, right? And I like alt music, like
you don't.
Well, I actually do. I like all kinds of strange bands that nobody knows of that are weird and strange. What?
You never liked any of the ones I liked.
Well, weird and strange. I didn't say untalented and shitty. You know.
Cunt. Cunt.
Hey, you open your mouth. I just took the bait. You know. But they were a band, Fear. Oh yeah. I know what's his name from Fear, like Fear the Record, right? A great fucking name. A little intense for my take. What's his name there? But yeah. Fear the Record. That was an amazing album name for a band called Fear. Holy shit.
I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm going to go and get some ice so you can.
Okay. Well, I forgot what I was on about now, so I need a reminder first. Oh, you just fucked off anyway. You see, this is when Johnny Carson sits there and looks at Ed McMahon like, seriously, you had to get drunk during the show the one time I fucking needed you. You're not even there, right? What are you going to do? This is why not only do I not pay him, he pays me. I mean, I think it's fair. You know, that's how it works. I was just trying to have a little puff action too. This is the one moment I needed a damn break. I'm trying so hard not to cough. Oh, God. Okay, there. I think I got it. So what do we got here? Hour 23 in. We got about 40 minutes, which will give me, I don't know, I think I'll be on beer 4.5 by then or something. Then I can sign out, have a bit of supper, settle down a little, and have a few afterwards and catch up on some auto racing. That'd probably be a good idea. I'm supposed to do some housework, but, you know, after you have a few drinks, that's the last thing you're going to fucking do. The only thing you're going to do is make more of a mess. I'm good at that part. Oh, man. I got the real beer burps going here.
Well, that's because you're guzzling them back like a fucking extinction event.
Yeah. You know, I'm like somebody caught in the desert here. I'm just fucking chugging it down. So, is there anything we should talk about before we go? Is it just full on bullshit from here?
There probably are things we should talk about.
There could be. I can't fucking remember.
I need the crew to come in and tell me what the hell they are.
Yeah.
Oh, website's down. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, well, I'm about to kill our hosting provider and go to a different one because now that their little introductory offer is done, they're charging a lot of money and I don't see the benefit from it. So we're going somewhere cheaper.
They all do that though.
Right.
I'm surprised you got caught out on that because they all do that. Same with GoDaddy. You know, it's like, it's it's only £1.
Yeah.
It's £3 billion.
Yeah.
Contract.
But here's the thing. We have a quite capable on fiber optic server. And for the amount of people that show up at it, why not just pay for the goddamn URL, put the server, the site on the server, and, you know, in case of hacks and stuff, we'll just delete it once a month and upload the backup. Anybody out there, a web designer, a webmaster, anybody actually give a fuck about this stuff that would like to do it for us, be the person in charge and so on? Let me know.
Well, let's ask if anybody actually, did anybody actually use the website? Because we were under the impression like it was really, really, really important to get a website sorted out. And
you were.
Okay, I was under the impression that it was really important.
No, you're not wrong. I'm just being a jerk. A lot of people say that a website's a great thing because instead of putting all these stupid links for us in the chat, we can just put our website. You can go there, find them all and whatnot. But I'm not willing to spend, $500 a year just for a link tree service or whatever at this point, right? Yeah,
especially considering that everything that was said on the website is basically on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Is there a point to the website? Maybe again in the future. I think also when we built the website, we were on the old Shills channel and everything was centered off that. Now we've restructured and we're rebuilding again. Maybe
got three different channels. It's chaos,
Yeah, maybe the website is not so important, or maybe it's more important to centralize things. I don't know. I'm asking anybody in the chat. Has anybody actually been to the fucking website?
Yeah. Any of you ever been there? And do you give a shit if we have one? So I've been there, love the website, or had no idea, right? Or some shit like that, right? Let us know. But I'm not sure it's worth the cash. We own the domain for like fuck all. And we could use our own server. It wouldn't be the fastest website in the world. It wouldn't be full of all fancy shit or whatever. But it would just be the link tree, the way to make sure you know what we're doing thing. Maybe that's the way to do it. Just keep it simple,
When it was simple anyway.
Yeah.
The fact that I don't have a local copy of the website. I had it backed up on their service.
Yeah.
But we have to log into their service to get to it again.
I don't even know what the login is because other people were doing it. I was just paying for it, right? Well, not me. I shouldn't say that way. The channel was, but I'm kind of the accountant. That's a scary thought. I know. I know. Like you can even ask Britain, Ukraine. On Saturday, we fundraised for them, and it took me till Tuesday to send them the money. But it's not actually my fault. One of the payments that came through on PayPal was like on hold, and it took a few days to clear. I'm not calling anybody out because it cleared and I sent it over, right? But, Nothing's perfect.
Yeah, not around here.
No.
Apart from me.
So, who's doing what this evening? Myself, it's going to be a little supper action. I've got some episodes of Andor to add to the Plex server.
Oh,
right.
so good.
There's something else I have pegged to download too. I can't remember what it was.
Mobland.
Oh, yeah, because I think there's an episode or two of that as well.
Yeah. That's a damn good series as well. Damn good.
Yeah. I don't know anybody involved.
The funny thing is about a Mobland is not my kind of like normal cup of tea, because it's about, London's like gangstery type stuff. But this one is it's just so different. It's so good, and it's you got like real rough people, but they're living in posh houses and stuff like that. Great.
Yeah, it's got high ratings online and everything too, right?
Really good.
Yeah, for sure. There was something my son just got into too, and I was just like, oh my God, I gotta get that for him. It was, what the hell is it? He finally got a taste for Harry Potter.
Oh, I was gonna say nothing Mexican then.
Yeah. Oddly enough, yeah.
Mexican Harry Potter.
Yeah. So so he was at his group thing on was it Monday or Tuesday? I can't remember. He got home and they had done crafts on Harry Potter things, and Felix was very interested. He had no idea what they were talking about. He's finally interested in it, so they put on the movie on the TV and he watched a bit.
What's his reading like? Does he?
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, because maybe just throw him some Harry Potter books.
Oh, he's a big reader. He has a speech and language pathologist that he has video calls with. And they do all kinds of reading on the screen and stuff. But at the same token, he's got a shelf full of classic books and whatnot. And we've done quite a bit of reading in life. He's the thing with him is he can read words that I'm not sure he fully understands.
Mm-hmm. Well,
right?
So you and me.
Yeah, no, but it's more intense and real, because he can get the wrong impression from interpretation on the moment. And so you got to watch. You got to make sure that you're always filling in the blanks with them.
Yeah, but just a thought, Harry Potter books, you're going to see them for like, a penny in the thrift stores and shit like that.
No, he would need them all in a collection. Yeah. And,
not touching that dirty secondhand book.
Oh, even if they were, it would still have to be collectors type stuff. Like he doesn't just put books on his shelf. They have to be the good ones or something, right?
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. We've got some Hardy Boy mystery books, and he didn't want the reissues. I had to find the 70s ones from when I was a kid. Oh, yeah.
A purist.
Yeah. He saw them in a movie or something. I don't think it was Stranger Things, because they come up in that. It was something older. Yeah. And the funny thing is like with Harry Potter, we'll get the box set and put it on his shelf. He'll never touch them or open them because we have them on our media server. He just wants them there because he likes it. We have VHS copies of like Hello Dolly and stuff in his room. It's just how it goes.
I was going to burst into song there, but I thought better of it. Out there, outside this town of Yonkers.
There's a world outside this hick town, Barnaby. There's a town, Barnaby. Yeah, he loves that movie, Hello Dolly, because the song is in the intro of Wall-E.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. How my daughter is, like, she watched Hello Dolly, and no, she watched
Wall-E.
Wall-E, and Wall-E, hello Wall-E.
Yeah,
she watched Hello Wall-E, and it's just like it just opened her up to Barbara Streisand in general, and it's like I mean, Barbara Streisand. Oh my God, what a fucking voice! What a nose. But yeah, but what a voice! And she was, I can't say she was gorgeous, but not the traditional beautiful way. But she was so beautiful, and
she'd poke you in the belly button, giving you a Hummer
with a dirty New York dialect. Yeah, oh, she was great. Back in the day. Not so much so these days, but
Did she have some kind of moment where her ego got out of control? What happened that South Park picked on her so bad in the first few seasons?
Anti-Semitism.
Yeah, but Matt Stone is Jewish. That doesn't work. Or no, Trey Parker, the dark-haired guy. Yeah, whatever.
That's even worse, you're probably gonna get more anti-Semitic if you're an actual Jew.
Yeah, but you're allowed to make anti-Semitic jokes if you yourself are of Jewish heritage, and that's how South Park gets away with it, right?
That's allowed. Yeah, no Arabs. No.
Yeah.
That's you're not going to be allowed to be an Arab.
Well, that's why the Simpsons gotten so much shit over Apu, the corner store owner, because nobody on the cast was, Yeah,
but they had plenty of brown people doing all the animation for them.
Oh yeah, but they're going to be tariffed now, won't they? There's been some funny coverage from Jimmy Kimmel and those folk and whatnot about the Hollywood tariff thing that Trump has talked about because of the insanity behind it. Every one of those guys know that they have somebody like, well, our very own Dunk here that, just works from home doing visual effects. And Dunk has a goddamn fucking Emmy Award. Right, so this is really how the industry works,
Yeah, I'll probably have to return it.
Yeah, or they'll put a backdated tariff on you, right?
I thought you were going to say they're going to send around a blockade around my house. Be an aircraft carrier outside my front lawn.
Well, if you hear any goose stepping out your front door, you should probably put it in the laundry bin.
You hear plenty of geese. That's Canadian geese.
Yeah. No, that's all about us, right? No, they're angry sons of bitches. Stay away from them.
I was talking to one of my.
They're worse than maggots.
I was talking to one of my colleagues about this whole tariff thing, and it's just like, we can't understand how it's going to fucking work.
The logistics of the financials are a nightmare. Nobody could figure this out, man. Not even a Jewish fucking accountant.
It's like he said, we have no idea what it's going to do until we hear some details, because at the minute it's just like Trump watched Alcatraz and he goes, oh, Hollywood. Oh, yeah. Tariffs on. I don't want to watch some foreign-made film about Alcatraz. I want to watch American films about Alcatraz.
You remember he's got Stallone and Voight and some other person nobody cares about as the ambassadors to Hollywood. I can only imagine John Voight sat down and said, I would have got this part had they not taken the filming somewhere else, because, in Bolivia, there might not be a toilet close by and I can't be very far from one at my age. like it's
actually, John, no, you wouldn't have got the part anyway.
Exactly, right? Your daughter hates you, and so does most of America. All right, fuck off, will you?
No director would have wanted you under his command.
Yeah. But it's so bad. Like the complexities of something like a Hollywood blockbuster movie having to be produced in America. Do they mean the production company? Because then everything's fine. Nothing will change. But do they mean it all has to be actually made in America? Because then every single movie is an import. That's it.
Well, the interesting thing, I was talking to my friend about this. Like I said, we're talking about the lack of visual effects companies in Hollywood, in LA itself.
That's right.
Now the reason for that is
the unions, the whole thing with Hollywood in the area. Oh no, okay,
not just that, but it was a while ago when there was some disturbance in the force, and money wasn't like quite as prolific as it used to be,
right?
And they were saying that was all these visual effects artists complaining that they can't keep up their payments on their Ferraris. They basically just gouging the industry.
Yeah.
Actually, we go to the UK. And for the price of a Ferrari, we can get several thousand shots done.
Yeah, we can get people that are fine with driving a used Morris Minor, right?
Yeah, only the person in charge of the company gets a Ferrari.
Yeah, even then it's a 308, right?
Actually, no, it's a Maserati.
Yeah, Mondial. Okay,
but so that's why there's no VFX companies left in LA, because they just. Well, they killed themselves.
Well, this is what America keeps doing. And I don't mean to pick on America if you're American, because I'm not picking on you.
We are talking about America, so that's
yeah, but I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about the rich folk in charge, right? And a few of my remarks here are unfortunately going to go at the unions, because what's happened is, and this isn't just America, it's Canada as well, and a few other places. If you have a job in the auto industry, let's say you work at a factory that's making stamping out parts, maybe you work in assembly, you're making alternators, whatever. This thing happened way back in North American culture where working in the auto industry means that you make a wage that can afford a family. Even if cheaply, you can afford a family. But if you work at a coffee shop or a burger joint, if you serve food, which could kill a person, you get minimum wage. And this happened in quite a few areas of manufacturing. And that's why manufacturing ran for the hills to places where they could get it cheaper. Now, is manufacturing in Mexico or Canada where it's cheaper, exploiting workers? No, because it's cheaper in Mexico, but those people are still making a pretty good wage in their community for working at that place. But it makes it cheaper to assemble the vehicle, right? Everybody gets this. Right. I think, this has been exploited by the top management and the elite in these companies, because wow, do they make unbelievable money these days. But you can't just rip this apart and put the manufacturing back in America, where everybody thinks working at a factory is going to give them a seriously I'm above you living wage, because nobody's paying $4,000 for an iPhone. Nobody's paying $27 for a spatula and things like that, right? It's not going to happen.
Yeah. The thing about unions, unions are a very useful tool
until they take it too far.
And they get a lot of.
Here's the thing. Can I just interject before you continue? The unions have never targeted the true elite at the top of the company. You got a CEO making, $600 million a year, but the workers are fighting for an extra $1 an hour. Who's the villain here, right? Come on, Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, the thing is that you remember the film Life of Pi with the kid on the boat was the tiger.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So the company behind that, they won all kinds of awards, went bankrupt.
Right.
Went bankrupt because of that film. And no one thanked them for it. No one tried to help them out. They just went bankrupt because they just got run into the ground to make that film. Now there was a massive movement in the UK for unionizing the visual effects industry, which on paper was a good idea because if you're working at a facility and all that kind of stuff, you were working like 14 hours a day and not getting paid overtime, and the company was making money. Well, maybe sometimes enough just to keep going. So there was a massive movement for unionization. But the thing was, what I saw was, when there was shit hit the fan, the union wouldn't step in and help. Right. So why were we joining the union? Why were we paying fees for people who weren't actually helping? And that's where the whole idea of a union falls down. Is because you're not actually doing any fucking use. Now because I don't work in any big facilities, I work on the outside. I'm alone. Right.
Yeah, and I have been all my life too. So there is some, lay it on the line as we're saying this, right?
Yeah, so I work outside of that kind of, and I get paid what I negotiate. Simple as that. And it's I tell you what, it's never like minimum wage. I can tell you that for a start.
Your life is very expensive with some of the things going on, and you do manage, although you don't sit there driving your Ferrari to the store. But
we're not living a millionaire lifestyle.
No,
but I'm not.
Yeah, there's people that could not keep up because right. It's really screwed up. We've got this thing where society has decided that some jobs are just not worth as much and others are. And like think about an automobile. If somebody on the line screws up, the odds are it's going to get found really fast because of quality assurance and all this kind of stuff and whatnot. But all it takes at McDonald's is one person with the start of a cold to wipe their nose without disinfecting themselves, and they've given 500 people the cold in their area, but they get paid garbage. We've got a real imbalance in the way things work. There's some other jobs, not to just pick on the automotive industry. I actually worked in the automotive industry. I worked for a Magna International manufacturing plant before I took off to recording engineering school after high school. And I worked there for about a year and a half, and I went up from a low-level job to a slightly better than low-level job. And I could even then in the 80s see how skewed it was to everybody. Like it was 1988 and I got the job at the low level in this car plant and I was making 19 something an hour.
Yeah.
And then within 9 months, when I got the jump to the next job, I was into the 22 an hour. Plus I got cost plus 2% on any vehicle from the companies that we made parts for. And at the time that was Chrysler, Dodge, GM, Ford. And I think we did some of the Nissan Renault alliance when they were together for a bit. But
you work for the Rebel Alliance.
yeah, right. But even then, the whole industry was skewed. Like, I was lucky and got into this new car plant that opened up, and I had such a better wage than people around me. And I was just a high school graduate like anybody else, like it was, it's weird the way we've done that.
Yeah, but there's also another thing about, we talk about wages. Wages have not kept up with like the price of property.
Not even close.
Yeah. It's like, well, there's probably like a tenfold disparity between the two numbers. Your minimum wage against the price of property. So someone back in the day on a minimum wage could buy a mortgage, could get into a mortgage and get on a housing ladder. Not a fucking chance these days.
Now, I want to just get back to the unions here. Like RP in the chat says, union worker, 17 years, shop and chief steward for 8, maintains a strong middle class. You're damn right it does. And I'm not saying that unionization is a bad thing in any way. In reality, it does maintain a balance that's healthy for everybody. But at the same time, I think that the top people in the unions don't target the top elite of the company for this unsustainable wealth they take out just for showing up and making a few decisions and stuff. I think they focus on the corporation as a whole a bit too much and need to start looking at where these excessive profits are going when they're not being funneled to the workers evenly. I know that's a dangerous dance and it's definitely going to ruffle some feathers, but I think that's where we got to go next because, oh my God, like in my view of the world, when you see some of these CEO payouts, but the company's doing the same thing they were doing 10 years ago, they're just expanding into new markets a bit like HP and all these other companies and so on. These CEOs are so overpaid and sucking the system dry. It's not funny, but it's also the stock market's doing that as well. Right, like that.
But you also had the thing, many years ago, especially in the UK, where like the unions were like, oh, this is general strike, everyone's out on strike, and people are out on strike for months, they don't get paid, and blah blah blah, and the concessions never get resolved, and then and they have to go back to work to the under minimal changes. You had these like points where unions were like demanding their workers to or should I say their patrons to follow this union actions, but they didn't actually win. And there was a lot of that in the UK, right? All out strike, everyone out on strike. Nobby got fired, so we don't like that. So everybody out on strike. And that's when when unionization just like that's when it fails.
I think that's part of the fail is that the union is expressing the wrong message. It's not against the corporation itself. And I think we have to get away from that a bit. Maybe it's about the elites at the top that are taking an exasperationally large chunk of everything just because they're there.
And also just the stockholders, all the partners and all those kind of people.
Yeah.
Who,
let's go back. Let's put an example on the table just so we're clear. The board of directors at Volkswagen knew that the old Beetle was getting tired and stuff and so on, and they directed the engineers to come up with a beautiful little econo box thing that could be loved by many, be many things to all, and they came up with the Golf, right?
Oh, okay.
So you've got Ferdinand Piech or whoever was in charge at the time and a few other people. They're getting paid in the absolute extreme for this car that comes in. And the Golf, if you don't know automobiles the way I do, the Golf's chassis was stretched a bit. It became the Jetta and so on. Like the Golf is half of VW's fleet when you look through all the car companies that they own, right? So many things are a Golf. It's not funny. This was a huge deal for them, right? And the top execs made off like bandits as it pertains to huge cash and stuff. But the engineers that actually fulfilled their request were just paid employees. And it's gotten so bad over time that these top people are supposedly worth huge payouts every year, but they're just not. They're not.
Yeah, well, we were seeing that across the board on every industry, though, aren't we?
Yeah, it's too much, you know.
It's like bankers, you know, who get bailed out by the government.
Yeah,
because they go bankrupt. But the managers get huge payouts because it's like, it's 60 million pounds for what did you do? Oh, hang on, you bankrupt the company.
Yeah, exactly.
Million.
Your
Anyway.
ideas and policies screwed the thing up so bad that the economy of the country could collapse. So you know what? Here is a bunch of money to save your ass. I got just
that the government just like paid in to save the company, and you're just giving it to the top.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, well. In the meantime, we're closing branches and laying off people.
You know, you go back to when my father was an up and coming executive in the corporation that he worked in, and the salaries were way lower because companies were paying dividends. They were putting money back in to expand and so on. The top brass were not making anywhere near what they are now. Fact.
There was an interesting thing I saw about what was it? Is it DoorDash are buying
their consolidation in the industry already, and nobody's made a profit.
No, but they're buying another food delivery company.
Yeah.
Come one. And you know, everyone's gonna get the owner. It's like billion. It's worth billions.
Oh yeah, they're getting The owner of the company is going to get something like 178 million out of the deal. Yeah,
but also 66 million will go to the employees of that company. And I thought, wow, hang on a minute, I've not seen that before.
Wow.
I mean, it probably spread amongst all the people. That's probably not a lot of money.
But the fact that it's even on the table, right?
Yeah, that shocked me just to see that little bit of news. You know, saying, the workers are getting money because of this. That's interesting. So yeah, that's the kind of business mentality we want to see.
Yeah.
The workers who put their time and effort into building the company. Putting their effort in, they get a bit of reward for it.
Yeah. That would make you stick around. That's some, modern thinking, right? I mean, you've got companies all over the place, even just where I live in this small place, there's Tim Hortons donut shops and McDonald's and stuff, and they're screaming for staff. Their little signs on the side of the road are now hiring 24/7, right? Why do you think you can't find staff? Because people would rather sit back on the government dole than bust their ass like almost slaves for your barely minimum wage bullshit. That's what's going on right now. People are sick of it.
Wow. They should, mobilize conscription.
Yeah.
Just go out in the street, smash people on the head. You're working for me now.
Go full on French. Build a guillotine and let's separate them. Right? Yeah. We should. We're just hitting 2 hours here. We should probably wrap it up and make sure we don't. If I crack another beer, I'm gonna cross the line. So we're not gonna do that. I'm sure it's coming. So what do we say here? Thanks to everybody showing up to hang out with us and stuff. If you haven't, make sure you hit like, share, and subscribe, because I'm supposed to say that at some point in the goddamn thing.
Yeah, why not do that?
Yeah. And thanks to our team. You can tell who they are because they're blue in the chat.
Whereas we're blue in the on show.
Yeah. Don't sing "I'm Blue." Don't do that. And what do you say?
I don't know. Oh yeah, leave a.
Sounded like a blue whale with a heart on.
Oh, that was definitely out of tune. No, definitely leave a comment in the little comments down below. You know, the little bit, just down by your ankles, and if you're not subscribed, wow, the hell fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fuck off.
No, don't listen to him. Stay.
That's right. Hit subscribe first, and then blither off and do something else.
500. Come on.
That's true. We're close to 500, and that would give us memberships and super chats and the shopping thing.
Yeah.
And
give Dick a massive hard on.
Well, we're not on this channel. I don't even think we'll ever turn on the ad part, because that'll just give us demonetized for all the stupid shit we say all the time, right? So we'll probably just leave it at members and super chats, right? That's kind of the idea, because then they won't give a shit all the time. I don't need that, Wow, we get in a lot of trouble.
Not my fault.
Actually, quite a bit of it is. So if the women don't find you handy, holy shit, try your best to be handsome.
I think you got that one asked backwards.
Yeah, I did it on purpose to see if anybody's paying attention.
No, we're not paying attention. If you are paying attention, we'll stop it right now.
That's right. Stop it. Stop that. It's not funny.